I'm so sorry. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Kamoya. Welcome. How are you doing? My day is going well. Thank you for asking. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad your day's going well as well. Yes, normally it takes a little while, like a few minutes for more people to join. So thank you for your patience. Welcome everyone. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Spencer. Shout out to Salvia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Adrian. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Shout out to Adriana. Shout out to Raylan. Shout out to David. Thank you for subscribing and for liking the live stream. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Kaina. Or Kana. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mavis. Or Mavis. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Janelle. Shout out to Josiah. Oops. Shout out to Colton. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Abriel. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Evangel. Shout out to Josie. Shout out to Harini. Shout out to Ruby. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Jessie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Lana. Shout out to Bristol. Shout out to Covina. Shout out to Samantha. Shout out to Ollie. Shout out to EJ. Oh, give me 1 second. Shout out to EJ. Shout out to Quinn. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Raven. Shout out to Shelly. Shout out to Cookie. Shout out to John. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to V. Shout out to Jayla. Shout out to Demarion or Demarion. Shout out to Moon. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Cami. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Abby. Thank you. My day's going well. How about yours? Shout out to Mia. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Gigi. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Saw. Shout out to Taylor. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Aliel. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Ada. Shout out to Brianne. Shout out to Maka. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Kalani. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Geety. Shout out to Rebecca. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Hadley. Shout out to Jamar. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Leona. Shout out to Unisha. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Dario. Shout out to Presley. Shout out to Leia. Shout out to Rising. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Fadia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Noel. Shout out to Kay. Shout out to Kyla. Shout out to Oscar. Shout out to Connor. Shout out to Thea. Shout out to Presley, I got you. Shout out to Anik. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Taline. Shout out to Melly. Shout out to Sisa. Sorry if I mispronounced her name. Shout out to Lara. Shout out to Akaza. Sorry if I mispronounced her name. Whoops. Akaza. Shout out to Sienna. Shout out to Alba. Shout out to Rylan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Calypso. Shout out to Rachel. Shout out to Clara. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Benjamin. Shout out to Harnor. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Iva. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Richard. Shout out to Gabriel. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. I would truly appreciate it. Shout out to Eris. Shout out to Gidi, I got you. Where are you? I know I got you somewhere. Oh, right here. I got you. Shout out to Ava. Thank you for showing me how to pronounce your name. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Sirtaj. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Brianna. Shout out to Sylvia. Shout out to Nazish. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Hattie. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Ivy. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Sirat. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Michael. Shout out to Daphne. Shout out to Kenji. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Lainey. Shout out to Yari. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Adeline. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Noe or Noe. Shout out to Malu. Shout out to Agu. Shout out to Harmony. Shout out to Sadat. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Maram. Shout out to Snow. I think I messed up, but I'll do more on the next page. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out. I would truly appreciate it if you check out my channel. I post other content. And I hope you can leave likes or watch some of the videos. I would truly appreciate it. Shout out to Denzel. Or Denzel, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Harmony Snow. I hope I got that right. Got it. Harmony Snow. Okay. Shout out to Adria. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Safi. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Adria, I got you. Shout out to Yeshli. Shout out to Aaliyah. I got you, Harmony Snow. Shout out to, who did I say? Aaliyah. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Allison. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Agu. Shout out to Gum. Shout out to Ada or Ada. Shout out to Caroline. Adria, I got you. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Bobby. Shout out to Sherlyn. Shout out to Aurora. Shout out to Henry. Shout out to I got Henry. Melissa. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Buckner. Shout out to Mia. I'm doing well. How about you? Thank you for asking. Shout out to Chevy. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Vernaz. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? Shout out to Mar. Shout out to Jackson. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Sail. Nori. Shout out to Alexis. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Albright. Shout out to Shaylin. Shout out to Gummer. Shout out to Avery. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Nina. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Addison. Shout out to Layla. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Naomi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Finley. Shout out to Savannah. Shout out to Albright, I got you. Shout out to Linda. Shout out to King Himi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Alan. Shout out to Mel. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Kaylina or Kylina. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Myra. Shout out to Hammonds. Shout out to Shakaya or Shakia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to David. Hammonds, I got you. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Sedge. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Amara. Shout out to Luna. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Nico. Shout out to Hammonds. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Paige. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Ivy. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Safia. Shout out to Demonica. Shout out to Thiruni. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Safia. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Young. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Tammy. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Hanbul. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Thea. Shout out to Nektari. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Santiago. Shout out to Aurora. Shout out to Diamond. Shout out to Cadence. Shout out to Avantika. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Issa. Shout out to Starly. Shout out to Young. Shout out to Annabella. Shout out to Melissa. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Allie. Oops, I forgot the little flower. Shout out to Joanne. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Riley, I got you. Shout out to Denny. Shout out to, write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Safia. Shout out to Brenda. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to Kylie or Kelly. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to Salome. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sophia, I got you. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Briley. Shout out to Lucille. Thank you, my blissful world. Shout out to AC. Shout out to Hallie. Shout out to Lucielle. Oh, thank you for showing me how to pronounce your name and spell your name. Shout out to Lucielle. Shout out to my blissful world. What name do you want me to put? Shout out to Lila. Shout out to Kathy. Shout out to Christensen. Shout out to Kai. Oh, okay. Shout out to Nori. Shout out to Sunny. Shout out to Diana. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Serve. Thank you for subscribing. Whoops, I messed up. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Lonnie. Thank you for subscribing. Or Lainey. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Shadow. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Dawn. Shout out to Queen. Shout out to Amari. Shout out to Ian. Shout out to Analia. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. I would truly appreciate it. Shout out to Radhika. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Long Sour. Shout out to Journey. Shout out to Harley. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Ivy. Shout out to Maggie. Shout out to Muna. Shout out to Mithra. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Arlene. Shout out to Jade. Shout out to Antonio. Shout out to Tenzin. Shout out to Helen. Shout out to Juliana. Shout out to Anna. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Lorenzo. Shout out to Rhodes. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Kate. Shout out to Anna. Whoops. Shout out to Gabby. Shout out to Riley. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Kamoya. Shout out to Samara. Shout out to Sienna. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Zainab. Shout out to Gabby. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Ruka. Shout out to Marley. Shout out to Yaretsi. Shout out to Andrew. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to, is it Hallie? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Vicky. Shout out to Alicia. Shout out to Belle. Shout out to David. Shout out to Sage. Shout out to Christian. Shout out to Really? Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Iroha. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Emmanuel. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Jay. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Phoebe. Shout out to Rianne. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Annabella. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Yuna. Shout out to Journey. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Cadence. Shout out to Zamaria. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Emmy. Shout out to Carson. Shout out to Kalezi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Manon. Shout out to Alani. Shout out to Reese. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Minju. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Emily. Oh, I got Emily. Shout out to Hannon. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Colton. Shout out to Aiden. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Mocha. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Melody. Whoops, Melody, how do you spell it? Oh yeah, 2 L's. Shout out to Sally. Shout out to River. Shout out to Jimena. Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Tiago. Shout out to Angelin. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Zoza, sorry. Shout out to Drew. Shout out to Wonhee. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Delilah Spear. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Luna. Juliet, why are you mad? Shout out to Daniela. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Sina. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Rebecca. Shout out to Harley. Shout out to Caitlin. Shout out to Judy. Shout out to Queenly. Shout out to Zava. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to Belle. Okay. Tota. Shout out to Tota. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Toby. Okay. Thank you everyone for your patience. I know I'm not the fastest writer, so I understand if you get impatient, but I appreciate you taking the time to write your name. So sorry. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. I truly appreciate it. And like I said, I know I write slow, so I appreciate your patience. Thank you so much. Shout out to John. Shout out to Samara. Shout out to Lucy. Shout out to Peranza. Shout out to Preston. Shout out to Jory. Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Cherish. Shout out to Taylin. Shout out to Navia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Or Navaya, sorry. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Julian. Shout out to, let me write that down. The Thea Lisa Spear. Thea Lisa. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Lennox. Shout out to Mia. Thank you, Mia. Shout out to LaBrose. Shout out to Tota. Thank you for your patience. Shout out to Atrisa. Shout out to Tola. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Presley. Shout out to Jonah. Shout out to Savannah. Happy birthday. Shout Tola, I got you. Shout out to Miruna. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Layla. Thank you for your patience. Shout out to Malachi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Sina or Senna. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Belle. Shout out to Lenora. Shout out to Carter. Shout out to Joanna. Shout out to Nevaeh. Oh no, I think I spelled it incorrectly. Oh no, I did. I spelled it right. Shout out to Sam. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Cora. Shout out to Lauren. Whoops. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Lauren. Shout out to Irene. Shout out to Zainab. Shout out to Josepha. Shout out to Annie. Shout out to Delilah. Thank you. Whoops. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Ayumi. Shout out to Arthur. Shout out to Charlotte. Thank you. I truly appreciate the support. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Isla. Shout out to Jazzy. Shout out to Ariana. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Lydia. Thank you everyone for your patience. Shout out to Horain. Shout out to Sinai. Or Sinai. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Bentley. Shout out to Rinley. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mia Jade. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Ajia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Zinga. Shout out to Amali. Shout out to Rustin. Shout out to Amalfi. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Ari. Shout out to Trent. Shout out to Zuzu. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Gigi. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Talia. Shout out to Sobia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Yoonjin. Unijin. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Zasper. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Naveed. Shout out to Gigi. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Zeus. Shout out to Ivan. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Amali Jade. Shout out to Akira. Shout out to Chang Bin. Or Chang Bin. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Toucan. Shout out to Master Gamer. Shout out to Myra. Shout out to Mia Jade, I got you. Oh no, I don't. Sorry. Shout out to Mia Jade. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Ozias. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Tina. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Gail. Thank you. Shout out to Camry. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to Nirma. Shout out to Elogoa. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Burma. Shout out to David. Shout out to Zapato. Shout out to Katarina. Shout out to Samara. Shout out to Levi. Shout out to Nova. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Mia Jade, I got you. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe. I would truly appreciate your support. Your support means a lot to me. Please subscribe if you enjoy the live streams. I live stream every day. And I also post other content on YouTube Shorts. I hope you can check it out. Here's one of them that I do. I like doing little stuff like this. So I hope you can watch this video and then please like and share. I would truly appreciate it. So thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next time. Have a great day or have a great night. Take care, everyone.